What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? You know what time it is. Episode 49 up in the mix. Let's get it. Without further ado, we got a Fract Art and a Fraction_Art. You know what time it is. I am your host, Gaddis TV. What's going on? Before we do anything, if you got yourself an iPhone and or an Android, go ahead over to the Play Store and the App Store and download the FTX app. Stay up to date with the latest cryptocurrency and NFTs. Without further ado, let's get to it. Alrighty, and we are live and direct. So first off, everyone, want to thank y'all for coming on and take some time out of your evening, day, and morning. We got everyone from literally around the world right now. So shout out to all y'all for making it happen.
All right, with pleasure.
With the kind of the first thing we would do, you know, because a lot of people will know, some of y'all, at least the project NFT, or maybe not the NFT, the project, everything like that. Quick little background, you know, who are y'all, what were y'all doing before crypto, what got you interested in crypto in general, and then what got y'all started on the project?
Yeah, so I guess I'm starting, right? I don't know. Yeah, basically, I've been doing software development for the last 4 years, maybe 5. And actually, I got into cryptos right away. I guess I was working on Ethereum projects since 2018. Probably sold too much of ETH too early. I'm still regretting that. Was working on developing on Ethereum, EOS, stuff like that. Then worked on Web2 startup here in the Eastern Europe. But last winter decided to go fully into crypto. Was kind of a guy in the Tezos scene, and last summer we decided to do something on Solana, and that's how like this incredible journey began.
Nice.
That's it.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, so we go, I'll have some questions for you in a second, but I guess we can go with Phil, just because Dad's been on the episode before, so shout out again, Dad, but we're going to get to you. What about you, Phil?
Well, basically, I come from traditional finance, and I made the switch, not fully just yet, but I've been interested in shitcoin since 2016, 2017. And that was basically my first journey and getting wrecked, you know, 1 week after another. And getting exposed to Cryptopia and, you know, like that site where you just drop the coins and you never see them come back. And basically, yeah, so like any guy's journey started from there. And then I just kept on lurking, not getting much involved until last summer when Timur just, you know, reached out to me through a mutual connection. And then I decided to try it again from a different perspective, more into developing and helping out, more like community building and helping out organizing the project itself. So that's where my added value is. So I'm not a dev. Like 99% of Fract is dev, but I'm the 1%.
That's what's up. Okay. And what about yourself, Dad? For people that don't remember the episode you were on beforehand, what's a little background about yourself as well? What were you doing before crypto? Like what were you doing before Thugbirds, and then what got you in working with him?
I just want to tell you that I'm the 0.000% of Fract that's left. I didn't mention this on the first episode. I realized after the episode that my journey in crypto per se started in 2012 or 2013 when I mined some Bitcoin, and like I mined it on my laptop. I left it like maybe 3 days, and I got 0.014 Bitcoin, like for 4 days, and I was like, wow, that's underwhelming,
You know.
And then I think I lost that laptop. So yeah, that was the intro of the journey. But then it started all again when last year I was reading up on like NFTs, and I was really passionate. I was always passionate about NFTs and the possibilities of NFTs. Then came Solana, I think my first mint on Solana was Fract, to be honest. So I
Mm-hmm.
minted Fract, and I think everybody's first mint was Fract because there was nothing else left to mint. Like there weren't any big projects, right? But I think there was Solarians first, right? Or what? I don't remember.
Y'all gotta let know now because
Yes,
I was
Solarians.
I was the new person on Thugbirds was my first. I remember seeing Fract Art a little bit before, and I was like, "Well, what is this stuff?" My buddy's like, "Generative art, everything like that." I was like, "Oh, okay, okay." So what? Yeah, when did Fract Out come out? When maybe not exact number, but it was pretty damn early, right?
Yeah, it's funny story. It was like the whole idea was to do Gen Art on Sol during the Solana Summer Hackathon.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended completely. Whole software was ended by the deadline of the hackathon, which was 6th of the June. And yeah, at that moment, there was only two NFT collections live for creatures and Solarians, as far as I know. Maybe there was some like soul animals or something like that. I don't. Maybe they came after that, but yeah. And I guess we were one of the first, or maybe the first, that did live minting, right? Not when you send Sol to the guys and you expect them to give you an NFT in the exchange, but
Mm-hmm.
it was like live. Just because like we came from ETH and or Tezos, it was expected behavior for us. Like so, we just like did that. Yeah. So after the hackathon, we went completely like under the radar for 1 month, and we got recognized in July.
In the July part of it, nice.
Yeah.
And my bad, Dad, for cutting you off. Don't ground me or nothing, big dog. No, so I guess what got you personally involved with the Fract Art then, if you know what I'm asking, Dad?
Yeah. So it's I have a friend, Vlad, who's like very like kind of artistic type of guy. He went to all like designs art school, and I was working on Jenna project on Tezos. Like, and maybe you are aware of that. It's the art scene, the NFT scene is very huge there,
Mm-hmm.
especially in like Gen Art. So like I was participating as a developer there, and it went pretty like successful. And I was like, okay, maybe like it's a thing. So I asked Vlad to do some creative work to create the art part, and that's how like we ended up on the hackathon. I was like, okay, let's do some stuff here on Sol. That's how we met other founder Vedemir, and basically like that's how it started.
That's what's up. Not gonna lie, maybe I was probably mumbling. I was asking Dad how
Oh,
maybe
that
basically
okay.
how why he was started just because I cut him off. I realized literally after I asked him the question, I was like, asked another question because, but no, honestly, that was gonna be one of the questions as well. Yeah, what I guess what do you do in the with the
So
fraction team?
I got into Fract like I said, it was my first mint. I minted I think about maybe five of them, and I remember my hugely successful first mint. So guys, I'm telling you this for the first time. This was my first mint on Solana. I pressed the mint button. I paid the 0.5. Nothing happens for about 2 seconds, and then I go to the wallet and find the red circle, and then I look up the red circle, rare motherfucker. And I was like 0.05 rarity or something. I was like, hey, this is easy. I'm gonna do well into NFTs. Then after the red circle, five white nets. Because that's what happens.
That's
and
that's
and
how it
then and then
is.
I kind of forgot about Frack because there was like the whole SMB mint and then the Degen apes and then the Thugbirds. But I didn't quite forget because I remember that I used one fract like one white net to lure Uncle Vlad into this whole ecosystem. Yeah, I basically just gave it to him and said, "Hey, this is your first NFT. Take care of it. It's really interesting because it's unique. And I mean, he knew about NFTs, but I just needed to lure him to because we figured out that it would be like the best thing we could do was start building sales bots for everyone. Like every project, go to them, say, "Hey, dude, we want to do this," and this is how we met Timur. This is how we met Tim. And
Nice.
then Tim got us into a mastermind group, and then from that mastermind group, we started collaborating more with the team.
Nice. So people that are listening that don't know what fract art is, I guess can you give a little simple background? Is it like the generated art that's made by computers, or is that something different?
Yeah.
What is it for the average Joe?
Yeah, initially it was a gen art collection. So basically, every piece of art was generated on the go by computer, as you said, by algorithm. Right now, it's like a whole ecosystem and heavy like utility type of NFT project. So it goes with a token, it goes with the Sandbox platform, which is a platform for other NFT artists, Gen Art artists to launch their collections, and with Fraction, which is NFT liquidity protocol, also powered by this token. So, which the thing that started as a just an art project now like evolves into like a set of projects all connected with NFTs.
With the and I'll probably pull up here in a quick second, just on the Twitter, for the at Fractart. It says I guess the staking Frax and then the Frax sandbox. What are y'all having like a game, something like that, or how do those two entail and work together?
Yeah, basically you can stake your fracs to receive rewards like a frac token, and also you get benefits for doing that through other projects, and Frac Sandbox is one of them. Basically, what we do is we launch artists there who do gen art, and by staking your fracs, you have ability to participate in these mints. And like the more fracs you stake, the more chances for you to get whitelisted to the next drop, basically. So that's it. We launch the huge artists from other chains, and also trying to spotlight the upcoming artists, like who need some like exposure, right? Attention. So there's like two types of projects. First one is minted with Solve, and we like have a great artists or like utility collections or like collections with community. And the second type of projects called curated with K. We mint that type of projects with the Frag token, and it usually meant to spotlight new artists like to bring them to the chain.
Nice. Is it and you might have just mentioned it. Sorry, I was trying to move a couple things. Are there certain, I guess, artists that y'all are looking for to, I guess, kind of fragment that way, or is it kind of anyone, or how would artists get in contact with y'all or projects?
Yeah, right now we do through submissions, like so you can approach us via Google form and we'll get back to you. But like we are in the process of development, the fully open platform where everybody like can do their own Janat collection.
With the you kind of said it a little bit before as well, and we were talking about it being one of the first. I guess what made y'all come over from Tezo for the people that aren't really techie, stuff like that? Is it just smoother transition? Did y'all just see realistically more, I guess, people are going to be on Solana in general? What was y'all's reasoning?
To come to Solana or to do the yeah, basically Solana has its own advantages. So it's fast and it's really cheap to use. But the whole like software around the chain is pretty still like pretty raw. Like other chains have their own tooling for years, and right now it's Solana like is trying to catch up with that. Yeah, it's like you always have to like eat glass because everything around you is evolving. One of the like great examples of that was migration that we like did with Fract NFTs. You had to like when we launched the NFT collection, we tried to do it in the Ethereum or like kind of Tezos fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean by token standard. But out of nowhere, Metaplex came up with the Phantom, and they decided that that's the like next standard, and that's the NFT standards for Sol. And we had to do manual migration of every single NFT out there. Like half of the collection was migrated on our side because like we managed to do that like in the a very like fast environment. But other side, like other half that was minted earlier, people had to press buttons and send their NFTs to us, and like we did automatic migration. So like we're basically, yeah, it was like a huge story, like for a couple months, and we still have like 50 fracts in the old standard, not migrated, and probably just some guy like forgot about them. And yeah, everybody was complaining and like, okay, I don't see my fracts in Phantom, I can't list it and on Solana, that kind of thing. So it was pretty stressful period.
Nice. What as the sun kind of goes behind the cloud, what are some things that I guess y'all as a team are excited about? I guess it's just going like forward with some major points that y'all have, or like what makes y'all excited at just being team members? That's for anyone.
Yeah, maybe Phil.
Yeah, I think the what makes us, I don't know, like really motivated about what we do, and you know, like the drive that we have to like to do these deliverables and to keep on building is basically trying to enable everyone to participate in the ecosystem is something that drives us a lot, because when you see now the price tag of a lot of NFTs, like the blue chip ones, it's, if you talk to anyone and you say, look, I'm spending 10 grand on a JPEG that gives me access to talk to specific people, they're just going to send you to the loony bin, right? So basically, it's about onboarding people who don't see the added value just yet, to explain to them that there may be ways to access that, a bit like we did with the sombreros with the Brero. It's one of the first DAO to actually allow access to the DAO with less than the actual NFT as a possession. So they have set up different levels of percentage of the token, because they fractionalized the token 2 weeks and a half ago, and sorry, the NFT. And you can have, for example, 10% of the supply, and that grants you access to the Discord. So you can actually participate in discussions if you want, but you cannot vote on decisions, or you cannot really get involved 100% just yet. But still, it gives you a taste of something, and that is basically what we're trying to achieve, right? Because if at the end of the day we all have like all these blue chip NFTs, that's exactly what we want to do. We just don't want to have we don't want to be in that ivory tower where it's just us and then the other guys who have the same NFT. We want, like, if you go on Twitter, everyone is like, yeah, let's keep on pushing it forward. Let's keep on bringing people in. And if you want to bring people in, this is how you're going to be giving them like a taste for it, is that if you can expose them to blue chip NFTs, expose them to the fun of taking part into in certain groups and so on. And that's what we're going for with, for example, the fractionalization of NFTs, where you can basically do it as a community if you want to grant access to it. And if you are someone who holds a lot of NFTs, it's also a way for you to get some liquidity for them. If you want to, instead of getting rid of your whole wallet, you can fractionalize half of it if you want, and then you can still get liquidity for it, and you can even add utility if you want to. And that's really that added layer.
How does something like that, I guess, work for the simple-minded person like myself? Say I'm like, hey, dang, I need to have some liquidity, stuff like that. I want to put on my thug burn, on there. What's the process of that? And then how would one make money or retain the money that way? Is that what you were explaining or kind of saying on there? Like I get
that's the point, kind of. Yeah. So let's say you have a bird, right? You want to get liquidity for half of it, for example. So what you can do, you can basically go on the website, you go on fraction.art, you fractionalize it, and just by putting it there, setting a buyout price for whichever you think the value of the bird is, you can just look at the market and you have, for example, let's say your bird is worth 60 SOL, right? And you can put it on there safely in a way, thinking, okay, you might think, okay, I'm putting it today for 60 SOL, but what if in 6 months it's actually 180 SOL and someone snipes it and buys it for 60? I don't want to get fucked like that. Well, that's the principle of auction that we have in place. So you have an auction system. When you put something up to be fractionalized and you put a buyout price, you also have to set up the auction system. So that means that you say, okay, let's say for once someone initiates a buyout price for 60 SOL, there will be 72 hours during which there will be a bidding war with the people that will most likely match then the value of your asset to the value of the market. So then you're covered in that sense that you will not get sniped for your NFT. So after that, through the process, you basically get SPL tokens for the NFT that you just fractionalized, and you can decide on the supply and the ticker as well. So let's say you want to name it the ticker you want to do. I don't know, let's say Gaddis, right? So that's the ticker you want to create. And you put 100 supply because you want to give 25 to your family, you want to give 25 to your friends, and you want to keep 50. You can do that. And then you just dispatch them as if you're doing an airdrop. Now, what you can do as well is you can create a market for it. Because when you fractionalize it, once you've done it, so once you've completed the transaction of fractionalizing it, you have a pop-up that says, do you want to create a market for it? And that you will create a Serum market. And after that, you can create a Radium liquidity pool to make it fully tradable. You just provide a bit of liquidity, and then people can actually go on the platform and they can swap their SOL for a piece of your token. And it's very seamless. And depending on how much liquidity you put, it can be very much traded as much as, for example, if you have a community of 100 guys and you want to involve all of them, they can go on and start trading it.
Nice. No, I mean, I think honestly all the fraction stuff is, I think it's early in the essence of it, just because I get all this stuff because my buddy in ETH has what is it, the truck and the dog one, yeah, the NFD I think it is, which got in there super early, and thankfully he hasn't sold nothing. He's still like, fuck dude, I'm keeping it. But stuff like that, because I mean, like y'all said, the everyday person, like we had another project that did the fractionalization. I kind of told them the same thing. I was like, the everyday person doesn't really know that they can't. I got to buy one whole Bitcoin. No, you don't got to buy one whole Bitcoin. You buy the 0.0001. You know what I mean? If that appreciates, then of course that appreciation goes up, and of course vice versa. But I think now, of course, not all projects, once the NFTs like that are going to be, I guess, successful in general. But I think something like this is hella strong, because like the little example you gave before, it's not every DAO, I guess, that's done it, but something like if they have the fraction, I think it's the Sombrero DAO, you can be in there, which the outside person that doesn't know anything about crypto, they might think, oh, that's not a huge ordeal, but think about it as like a community that is on the same page for a certain goal, you know what I mean? So you can literally gain knowledge, just information, stuff like that, which that let alone can be a huge thing. So
if you have to explain it to a normie, it's like as if you have a tennis club, and if you want to go play tennis at that club, you have to pay the membership. That is, let's say, 500 euros a year. But instead of paying that, you pay a fraction of it, and you can go to the tennis club and you can play tennis on the courts there every Monday. So you can't pick the day during which you want to play, because then you would have to have a full membership. But here you have a fraction, you get a part of the benefit. And I think that what is going to be important is actually explaining to people coming into crypto or NFTs in general, what is the added value of being part of certain groups? What exactly does that entice for them? Like, what's the added value on top of having art? Clearly now the angle of most collections is a bind utility to your art. So you have a lot of one-to-one pieces that just function perfectly because that's what it is, one-to-one piece. But now most of the collections that are being minted, if it's not in low supply, it's definitely linked to a utility mechanism, be it staking, be it I don't know what else. And sky's the limit in the type of utility that you want to give it, as long as it's sustainable. And I think this is going to be a moment where people coming from outside, they are going to be understanding that, okay, you have utility that are going to be valid for 2 weeks, and then the project is just going to die off because it's not sustainable. And then you're going to have utilities that actually are middle to long-term oriented. And then you can fine tune as you go, because we're all learning. I mean, we have adjusted tokenomics. So we are also in the process of learning, but I think that's really key, is that if you can adapt and keep on providing utility, then people are going to catch up on that. But I think that's really where the most important thing to do is teaching and educating people. That's going to be super difficult, but that's the challenge that we have.
No, for sure on that. Question as well. I know Money asked one of them beforehand on another podcast. Do you think fractionalization? I forgot the exact wording you put on there. Do you think it helps the NFTs like in general, or what was that wording on it?
Yeah, like how do you think like fractionalization affects the bottom line of like that collection of NFTs? Because like I've heard an interesting argument before that like fractionalizing it can like increase that certain NFT's value, but I can also see a side where it would decrease that NFT's value. I'm interested to hear what you think about that.
Well, fractionalization is just one of the tools, right? And that tool is kind of like, it works only for like really precious, really high priced NFTs. Like it will not work for the floor NFT kind of thing. It will work only like for the like rarest and like most wanted ones. So in that, like if we assume that, I don't see fractionalization being like a factor for decreasing the value of these NFTs, because the tool is meant to be used for the NFTs that was like already like a lot, and just like it's just a tool for unlocking the price that's already like sits there, right? So like the valuation, the current like valuation of the NFTs is mostly based on floor and average price. Like that's how people evaluate NFTs right now and projects in total. And just fractionalization by itself is just not a tool that works with that metrics. You know what I mean?
Right, but like,
I think I
like from
think I have
a
an
speculative
explanation.
point of view, like I think like it's a valid argument that like it's a very high risk situation if I go to fractionalize a very high value NFT, and it doesn't work out, and people aren't really into it. I just like I understand what you're saying. Like it ideally works with like high value NFTs, but like that's a double edged sword in my opinion. Like because let's say I only own like one Thugbird, and the Thugbird hits like let's say like 500 SOL or 600 SOL or something, and I'm considering fractionalizing it. That's a really big concern of mine. Of like how am I going to keep the value of this NFT like whole, basically, because like it seems so like from someone who doesn't understand how to fractionalize an NFT, like it doesn't seem like it's a really like it seems like a high risk low reward scenario. You know what I mean? So like how would you counter that?
The risk of the of applying fractionalization to your NFT is actually the same risk inherent to your NFT itself. So if you have a value or an NFT that has a specific risk, fractionalizing it is not going to decrease or increase that risk in a way. If any case, it might decrease it. For example, say you have a 500 SOL Thugbird, right? You're afraid of putting it on the market, or you actually want to still extract value. If the market behavior has been that the price has been increasing up until 500, then there is clearly like a market appeal for that. So if you fractionalize it, people are going to see the added value of owning it, and they will most likely buy into your fractions. Why? Because you are in an uptrend market. So the risk of doing a fractionalization at that moment is just linked to how the market is behaving for your NFT. If you're in the other way, if you have a 1K NFT and it goes to 500 SOL, and then you're fractionalizing it there is a high chance that your fractions are not going to be selling for the buyer price that you set for the same reason. So I think it's really inherent to the NFT in itself. Fractionalizing, if anything, adds another layer of utility to the NFT if you want to give it.
Yeah.
Or if you really, if all things considered and stay constant, it's just going to be a plus side for you if you want to use it for that. If it's something that you want to keep as a collection, then all for you. Just keep it. Don't fractionalize it. Keep it.
I could see fractionalization being like very useful for like, it's like for profile picture NFTs. I don't really see it like being like that's like where fractionalization is going to shine. I see it with like later on down the line, like maybe like 5 years from now, 6 years from now, where like like NFTs are like interested like passes and like to get into some places and stuff, or like a certain stake in in a company or something like that, and maybe you want to fractionalize something like that instead.
I can provide some use cases which are really interesting but haven't been like adopted as mainstream. By the way, if you check out my Twitter profile, I think from 2 months ago, I've written there fractionalization maxi. I'm a maximalist in fractionalization, if there ever was such a thing. And this is
Why is
why
that? Yeah.
so basically, I think of fractionalization as the retail customer entry in about 2 years from now. So I think every OG project and every blue chip project is gonna sell for astronomical amounts, and nobody's gonna have like a good entry point into any of those projects. And fractionalization is gonna provide that access point, that lower barrier access point to a lot of people. And so the thing is, if you do a fractionalization and just watch the short term thing, it might not be as interesting. But if you think about fractionalizing something and you choose window spanning maybe 2 to 5 years, then you really got something there, because you might have let's say a Thugbird or an SMB or a blue chip NFT, and investors will come to the fractionalization market, like to a fraction marketplace, and just like grab a bag of everything, because that's hedging, and that's what investors do. And even retail investors, like even may I say even shitcoin investors, like they have a bag of shitcoins. They don't buy one shitcoin, they have everything. And I think the hedging case is going to be really strong in a couple of years. So that's the first thing. And also, like, the ease of access into private groups, I think will be improved in the coming years, because I mean, DAOs move pretty fast, because not, right now they're maybe 2,000 individuals deciding stuff. But in order to involve, like, in order to grow 10 times or 100 times from these valuations right now, you need to have 10 times or 100 times the number of people and investors. And honestly, like, collections right now aren't built for that. We've seen Bored Ape make like 30 or 40,000 NFTs. I keep counting them, but I'm constantly losing track, because let's say they have like the originals, they have dogs, they have mutant gen 1s and mutant gens 2, right? And they're like 40,000. So theoretically you have a 40,000 people limit. But with fractionalization, I think you can have like you can distribute an NFT to a whole country, and the whole country could vote using those SPL tokens, and have governance. There are so many use cases for governance with SPL tokens fractionalized from NFTs. So this is why my profile says I'm a fractionalization maxi, because I think there's going to be a lot of utility, and a lot of use cases that people haven't experienced yet. Because, like, let's face it, we're like all of us on crypto Twitter, on Solana, maybe we're 20 to 40,000 people maximum. So we don't need it right now, but when we will need it, we will need it in a big way.
No, I do agree with you on that one.
By the way, this is the sorry for interrupting.
Oh,
This
you're good.
is the main reason I joined the Fraction project for their communication, to help them for communications, because I really believe that this is like the long term future is going to be fractionalization, because it provides an entry for retail, for mass retail. That's my view.
Hey guys,
Not
sorry, I
finan-
just gotta let you know my hotel checkout time is literally right now, so I got to run. But I just wanted to say
Good
thank
you,
you so
bro.
much for coming on. And if you're down, we'll have you on in a couple months. I'd love to have you guys back on and track the progress of the project and all that, guys. So thanks so much for coming on. And I'm sorry I have to rug so early.
Honk
No
honk.
worries.
You, bro.
With pleasure.
Hong Kong, Dad. Thanks, bro. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Thank you so much.
Hey, stay safe, bro. We will end it soon because I just looked at it, the time and everything. We're at 36 minutes, so my bad on that, y'all. But honestly, I'm glad Money brought that up, because that's something I wasn't even thinking about, where like the real life utility that way could be something huge in the future as well. Because I'm personally, I was thinking like the pictures behind me. You know what I mean? Like when I use Mona Lisa because I'm not the smartest person, but I know that painting. You know, putting it fractionalized that way. Because again, like you can't have a whole thing or anything like that. So that actually, just thinking about all that stuff makes me, I use the word bullish, but more bullish on that one. What is Fraction? What do y'all want to be known for in the Solana ecosystem? You know what I mean? Just a company question, you know?
Yeah, we want to be like first option for you to get liquidity from your NFTs. We want to be. It's for Fraction. For other projects, for the sandbox, we want to be like first Jena platform on Sol. And like as I see, as a ecosystem as a whole, we want to be entry for the normies, for the normal people that not into crypto yet, but we want to really like guide you from, okay, here is NFTs, you can mint it here, it's like really low price. Okay, here is like blue chips, you can buy blue chips here, or like if you have already blue chips, you can get liquidity from it here instantly. So that's kind of a pass. So yeah, I guess that answers the question.
No, 100%, 100%. I guess with I'm gonna kind of go last question, just because again I want to keep y'all up. I enjoyed the conversations because sometimes I feel like an idiot asking the questions, but on the flip side, I'm like, you know what? If I got the questions, someone else probably does. So I appreciate y'all for answering some of the ones that, even if y'all think it might not be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? So appreciate that.
There are no dumb questions, man. Only dumb answers.
I like that actually. Yeah. No,
this dog in the background.
you know what I mean. You gotta get him calm somehow. No, with I guess are there any like main points or stuff like that we haven't really talked about in the period of time for anything that y'all got going on that y'all do want to bring up, or maybe even some alpha you might be able to give. If not, it's all good. But like anything I've missed or y'all are super passionate, excited on.
Yeah, maybe for the guys that listen to and were involved in the Fract in the past, maybe it's your time to consider going back into Fract by a lot, just because we are like right now we are completely turning project into DAO community driven one, and there is ongoing elections right now. And if you guys like want to participate and you like know us, you know what we building, it's perfect time for you, because right now like I guess it was the last point of our roadmap is to turn into the DAO. Like we did the sandbox, we did the visualization, all that was in the roadmap, and the last point was Frag DAO. It's going to be on chain, stuff like that this January. So we're like really looking forward to that, to work with our like big brains in community. And of course, if you want to participate, it's still ongoing.
And that's with the Fract account.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is just the regular at Fract Art. So if anyone is interested in want to see what's up with it, hit him up with the Discord. You have a Discord link on there?
Yeah.
Bet. Everything.
There's link tree. I guess it will guide you to.
No, man. I guess any other points, anything like that. I mean, honestly, I could keep asking questions over and over, but I ain't gonna do that for y'all. Any other main points that you want to let the Noimies or anyone else know?
No.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, like we're releasing things constantly, so I guess the alpha would be is mentioning our upcoming release with baskets of NFTs, which is basically fractionalization, but which allows you to do multiple NFTs in one vault. So basically, you'll have tokens that represent like 10 or 5 NFTs, however you want. That use case is pretty like needed for upcoming NFT collections and DAOs that want to create treasuries and then distribute tokens inside the communities. We're talking constantly, I don't know, like 5 or something like that in my mind, projects just basically waiting for us to release it and waiting to get their hands on the baskets. And that tool is basically NFT ATFs kind of thing. So they allow you to invest not in one tech bird or not in like one monkey, but it's just set or like collection of NFTs. So yeah, and it's completely open, like everything we build. So anybody can do, I don't know, apes ATF, right? Or I don't know, some specific trades, however they want to play it out.
No, that's actually super strong on that. I guess with that one on, so we're going to go ahead and end it up. Stick around for a quick second, kind of like I did before. I'm going to go ahead and mute it. But honestly, thank y'all for coming on and taking some time out of y'all's I think night for everyone right now because money's gone. So I appreciate it for real on that one. Other than that, stick around for a quick second, and we should be good on there. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once again, let's get it. You know what time it is, episode 49. One more time, if you're not already, go ahead and follow at FractArt and at Fraction_art. One more time, what it do, I see you, dude. Let's get it. Caw-caw.